We're gonna go on a little swimmy swim. Think I might try to get to the reef over there. It's like maybe 400 meters out or so. Haven't done that in a while. Might give that a go. But it's gonna be a relaxed one today. These are mornings in Negril. Let's do it.
I'm waiting for something to change. 'Cause when I'm not here, it's like I'm falling. And I don't know why I feel pain. 'Cause when I'm not here, I keep on falling. I've been waiting in silence to see a little bit of fire, but all I see is you. Yeah, I've been waiting in silence to see a little bit of fire, but all I see is you.
There's a turtle, but it's so much faster than me. Couldn't catch him. I think he likes those little jellyfish things. I don't know what they are, but I don't like swimming in them. But I think the turtle likes to eat them. I think they're like little jellyfish thingies. I don't know. Not too far back, too far out. The reef is over here somewhere. We're close. Morning, Billy.
So I feel safe and sound. I keep looking, I keep searching. I need you to be found. So I feel safe and sound. I've been hiding out for days next to
back to the program. Hope you guys enjoyed that little break, that little swim break, if you will. Next up, we got some drone shots from a sunset, I think like 2 days ago or so. So a few more minutes, then we'll get back to the program here. Enjoy. All right, get back. Where am I? There I am. Happy New Year, everybody. Good to be back on the stream, back to our usual Sunday vibe. And we got beautiful weather today. Really, really nice day today. Everybody's kind of just chilling out here, enjoying the vibe of the beach. Got a nice cool breeze here as well. And it's a normal relaxed Sunday here at Travelers here in Negril. We got so much to catch up on. Of course, I don't think I streamed in at least a month, probably a month. Haven't uploaded in a month either. Got a couple of pictures I put on the community page, but that's about it. So it is really nice to get back into the swing of things. It's really nice to be back on this beach. Really nice to be back at Travelers doing our thing, hanging out with you all. Of course, I want to hear from as many of you as humanly possible, hearing what's been going on with you, hearing about the Christmas, hearing about the New Year's, because we missed all of that together. And usually I do some streams New Year's Day and also on Christmas, or at least Christmas Eve. But this year did a little bit different. I was in Colombia. Well, I'm not sure everybody knows that, but the picture on the thumbnail, that was when I was in Medellin. So I was there for about almost 3 weeks, as a matter of fact. Really awesome trip. Want to get into that a little bit. But there's also like so much happening in Jamaica, so much happening right here in Negril, as a matter of fact. It's like when I went away, like everything blew up kind of thing. But a lot of these things we already saw and we've talked about here on the channel before they kind of became mainstream media, mainstream news. You know, we try to keep everybody informed, boots on the ground as things are happening. But as usual, let me know where you are chiming in from, what city, what state, what country. Always love to hear that. And so as far as today, I would say, and let me know if you can hear me okay. There's a lot of background noise going on, music from next door, but hopefully the mixer is doing its job in kind of quieting that down. But if it is a little noisy in the background, let me know and I'll do what I can to adjust the mic here. Talking a little bit about Colombia. Do you have some Colombia content coming out? Most of it's going to be on Instagram, but I'll probably do one long vlog on here on YouTube. But the main point of the trip was really a retreat more than anything else, a solo retreat for myself, which we'll go over. We'll catch up on some Jamaica news, some Negril news. Got some exciting things happening here. But for those who have been following, probably not new news for you all, but nonetheless, we're gonna talk about it. I'm excited to always talk about things happening here in Negril, and of course, want to keep things moving forward with the country, moving forward with Negril, and then also keeping you all informed on what's happening, any opportunities that are around. So again, let me know where everybody's chiming in from. Love to hear about it. This is the first time that we're streaming on Facebook, which is cool. I don't know what inspired me to do that, or maybe perhaps why I never did it in the first place. But nonetheless, we got it going today, testing out the technology here. So thanks for chiming in, all those coming in on the Facebook stream. And yeah, let's get into it. Let me just go through some comments real quick, and then we'll start with our catch up. But let's get you back that beach view right there. I might have to pop out to adjust the lighting a little bit. I see you got a little. I set it for a much brighter exposure, and it's getting a little bit dark. So I might need to pop out there in a little bit to make that adjustment. But looking pretty good so far. Got some parasailing action as well. All right. Anyway, what's going on, Justin? Good to see you, man. Thanks for having you. Nice to have you, I should say. Vivine from Florida. Thanks for chiming in. Katya, nice to see you. Oh, there we go. And this is Vivine's first live stream. Welcome. Thanks for making it happen. And what's going on, Wanda? Tia, thank you. Good to be back. Appreciate that. Carla chiming in from Facebook. Awesome. How's Colombia? See you in Winfield and Negril in a few weeks. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing you as well. Colombia was awesome. I'm going to get into the details shortly on that. And then, so we're going to do the welcome here, Colombia. Then we're going to bring it back to Jamaica. So that's the kind of the agenda for today. Suzette, happy New Year to you as well, and to everyone here. 80s hair, bless up this cold snow squall afternoon in Wasaga. Okay, sorry it's snowing out there. Sorry it's cold. Serene, hey there, Throp. Happy 2024 and a blessed and prosperous New Year. Calling, listening in from Manchester, England. Nice to see you. And also, we're going to do this more formally, but as we got somebody from England, we are definitely going to be doing a meetup in England in the London area in April. So late April. I'll do this more officially and get it out to more people and put it in our newsletter. But we're going to be doing a meetup at the end of April. I'm going to give you the dates. It's probably going to be I'm going to try to make it a weekend. I'm running the London Marathon for those who are unaware, and that is April. I'm in 2025. That is where we 2024 April 21st, Sunday, April 21st, London Marathon. It's my first London Marathon. Super, super excited about it. And of course, as many as possible can come out, support. That would be great. But the following weekend, the weekend of the 26th, we're going to find a place in London and we're just going to do a meetup. I was thinking about shooting a live podcast or doing a live stream. I'm not sure, but there is going to be some get together in late April in London because I know we got a lot of people out in UK. And so I think that would just be cool to take advantage of the opportunity while I'm out there. So I will let everybody know when that happens and how exactly we're going to do it. So just want to make that quick plug as I came to mind. Dale, what's going on? Good to see you as well. Charles, happy New Year to you. Charles is in Nassau, Bahamas. Jay Fitz, what's going on, man? Good to see you as always, listening from ATL. Charles Adderley, this is powerful indeed. I think Charles talking about the video there. Eddie W says, love the break. Yeah, I know I spelled break wrong. My aunt pointed that out to me the first time I put it up. Glad you're enjoying it. Or you enjoyed it. Sorry I had to cut it short, but I wanted to get the program started as soon as possible. Yvonne, presently in Jamaica, visited Negril 2 weeks ago and had a great time at West Ender Inn. Yeah, I love West Ender Inn. That's right near Jackie's on the Reef. So another special place there in deep West End. Kay, hello everyone. Happy New Year. Jason Wilson, look who's back. That's right. I'm here live and in the flesh. Liz W says, first time catching you live. Well, welcome. Thanks for making it. Sherry Case, happy New Year, everyone. Cherie, happy New Year all. Meryl Murray, happy New Year, Throp and all. Sasha, what's going on? Hey, Throp, welcome back to Jamaica. My friend and I just left Travelers this morning. You and your family have a great thing going. Enjoyed immensely. Thank you for staying with us. Certainly appreciate the support. Sherry chiming in from South Florida. What's going on, Andrew Blake? Good to see you. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you, Natural Yard, in letting me know about the noise, lack thereof. Carla is chiming in from BC, Canada. Kemi's chiming in from Texas. Good to see you. Marie D. Blessings to you as well. Good to be back. What's going on, Karen? Chiming in from Facebook. And Meryl's from the UK. Cydia chiming in from Facebook as well. Awesome. We got a bunch of Facebook people here. At least it's working, right? Marlon chiming in from cold Canada. Nice to have you. Hopefully this view is warming you up just a little bit. Justin says, I sent you a link a few days ago. I was wondering why no more vids. Was that email? Did you email? I haven't gotten back to anybody. I'm like 4 weeks behind. So please, if I haven't gotten back to you through either Instagram, messages on here, on YouTube, or Facebook, or email, please forgive me. It's going to take me some time to catch up on everything. And really appreciate like so many people was checking up on me. And that was didn't expect that. No, I appreciate it. Like so many people was making sure everything was cool because I haven't posted anything. And I realized that was my fault causing any sort of worry or anything like that because I didn't communicate that I was taking a break. So those who reach out and think about me, appreciate it. Thank you so much. But it was a well needed break. Trust me, I just needed to kind of get out of here for a little bit, and it was an awesome break as well. So I will get back to everybody who messaged me and shot me an email. We're checking in from Ocala, Florida. Adriana, Happy New Year to you as well. Crystal Nicole, welcome back and Happy New Year from extremely cold Iowa. We have a guest here from Iowa, a repeater, Greg. Always comes every year. Always hang out with him. One year we did, quick side note, him and him and his buddy Marlon, they're always together. They've been coming since it's gotta be 20 years plus 20 plus years they've been coming, staying with us here at Travelers and coming to Negril, probably beyond that. But every year they do this bar crawl for years and years and years. This was a while ago. This is like 10 years ago. I was promising that I was going to go with them. And one year I did it with them and it was a lot of fun. We just literally just bar to bar from the West End and just came back to not deep West End, like before the lighthouse. And we just went bar to bar to bar to bar with each other and walked back to Travelers and came back to Travelers. It was a lot of fun. That was cool. Never did it again, but it was fun when we did that. But yeah, that's Greg from Iowa. Caller says, what's going on February 5th to 12th, bringing Gal Pals for the first time? That is, I believe you're going to make the donkey races. Hold on, let me check that. So that's the Negril Rotary Club donkey race. It's exactly what it sounds like. And trying to find out the exact date. I'm almost certain it's in that time frame, but it's one of the biggest community events that we have here. It's during the day. So much fun. Looks like the day you get in. They're speculating it's the 5th. I'll definitely make a post about it because I usually volunteer at the donkey race, which I always enjoy doing. And usually I can't stream that day because I'm at the donkey races. But I'll let everybody know. But that's probably one of the biggest things happening. And that's a very busy time of the year for Negril. We call February Canada Month because like all the Canadians come to Jamaica during that time. And it's definitely a good time. And if you've been to Negril in particular, even when it's like crowded, super populated, it's not like crowded. So you still have a lot of space to yourself and everything like that. But that's probably the busiest month of the year. At least it is for us here Travelers. And I believe Negril is super packed out in general. Awesome. Hello, chiming in Alex and Anke in Brussels. Awesome. Thanks for chiming in. Good to have you. We're going to definitely do more Facebook integrations here. Krista said, I just stayed at Travels for the first time during the holidays, planning to come back. Awesome. Thanks for staying with us. Nice to have you, Crystal. Carl says, don't get until late on the 5th. I'll make sure. I'm not sure it's the 5th, but I'll let you know. Exactly. I'll make a community post about it. Kelly says, lots of shows at Roots Bamboo Beach Resort during that time. I don't doubt it. So that's probably a good time to check out those live shows. Thanks, Leo. Appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Oh yeah, we are full. Yeah. February, like one of those times, at least here at Travelers, like you really got to book by like the February before, the March before, because it just fills up so quickly. So quickly. What's going on, Kelly? Good to see you. Good to have you on. All right, cool. Thank you everybody for chiming in. Thank you for letting me know where you are chiming in from. Appreciate the comments. Let's talk a little bit about Colombia, which was, like I mentioned, it was an awesome trip. I'm definitely going to be doing a video. Like I said, most of the content that I shot was I really did it for Instagram. I didn't initially, I wasn't planning to do any content, and then I got inspired because the whole point of the Colombia trip for me was really to take a break. There's also somewhere that I always wanted to go. And again, if you've been on the channel, we always talk about oh, at least I did. I always talk about like three places being like the meccas, the hubs of digital nomads. So we talk about Tulum, we talk about Bali, and we talk about Colombia. And I went to Tulum in October. I went to Colombia late last year, earlier this month, and then the last one is Bali. And there was, and like this is kind of the premise of the video that I'm going to be putting together for YouTube, is really comparing I would say the cost of living, but then also the investment opportunities compared to that of Jamaica. And the thing with Colombia, like outside looking in, it's kind of like deemed one of these places where you get, they say, like first world accommodations for quote unquote third world pricing, right? And so in general, like that is kind of what it is, I would say. So I stayed in two areas. I was in Medellin and Bogota. So I spent the majority of my time in Medellin, and it was I stayed in Medellin I stayed there over 2 weeks in Medellin, and the accommodations, and like this is comparing to Jamaica for sure. For example, like the accommodations there are definitely, and generally speaking here, it is more modern, more advanced, and it is for sure far, far, far cheaper. So I stayed in a various accommodations. Like the first hotel that I stayed in, the first accommodations was a hotel. I forget the name of it. I totally forget, but it was a 4-star hotel, and I paid just under $100 a night for it. And then I didn't, and mind you, I did not plan this trip like at all. Like I flew out like the Tuesday, I bought my ticket the Saturday before, or something like that. Like it was less, it was like 5 days. Didn't plan it much. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. That's about it. Didn't know exactly where I was staying. I think I booked only 3 days of my accommodations for 3 weeks. The night I booked my airline ticket, and just kind of rolled from there. And like I wanted to familiarize myself with the area before like I committed somewhere, because I didn't do like any research at all. And so that was my thinking behind it. And then also having the understanding that it wasn't it's not like I'm going to New York City and I'm paying like these high end prices or anything like that. So the first few days was at this hotel. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like 4-star hotel, which was for like less than $100, like 90 something dollars per night. And then you compare that to here in Jamaica, particularly Negril, you're just not going to get that. I can't think of a 4-star hotel that you're going to get that price. What I found was just even more interesting was going over into the Airbnb market. So I stayed in this area called El Poblado. So there were like two main areas that, based on the YouTube videos that I was watching, that I was considering staying. One was El Poblado. Oh yeah, this is a great opportunity to bring up the map. Yeah, El Poblado. Let's see here. And then the other one was Lorales. The only thing with just Colombia in general, like it was like there was like a high emphasis on learning Spanish. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. It's a good idea to learn Spanish before going to Colombia. I mean, luckily I was staying in I would say pretty popular areas, but it still wasn't, there still wasn't like a lot of like, English wasn't like widely spoken everywhere. So let me see. Let me bring up the map here. See if I could share my screen. Oh no, I don't know why it always like does this. Like I can't share my screen. Hold on. But I ended up staying in El Poblado, which is like one of the main tourist areas slash expat areas, and it was considered like a high end area. And so I probably played like a little bit, paid a little bit more of a premium than I would say a seasoned person who went to Colombia, and like I was okay with that. And I saw Kelly in the comments there. She made a comment about the U.S. Embassy just posted warnings for Colombia for U.S. citizens, and so that was like one of the feedbacks I was getting in all these videos about like how dangerous Colombia is, and I'm like, and essentially, like initially I was just like, you know, say the same thing about Jamaica. How dangerous can it be? You know, and I like, you know, are people blowing things out of proportion like they do here in Jamaica? And kind of me being on the ground here, I just, you know, just never really bought into that initially. But like after I was seeing like video after video after video, and then like videos of victims like who made these videos, and like a lot of the videos I saw were people who got robbed, who got drugged, who got like everything stolen from them. I was just like, okay, maybe it is, maybe it is a little bit more serious than I'm initially playing it, because like, and then also like kind of being in Negril, like it's they're just the hustle is just like so crazy here. It's just like I don't think I'm gonna get hustled there either, because I feel like Jamaicans are like the best hustlers, and so like if I'm surrounded by the best and like I don't get screwed by these people out here, how can I get screwed in Colombia? And you know, thankfully nothing happened to me or anything like that. But like based on my research going in, it went for like from like I'm gonna be fine to like okay, maybe I should be a little bit concerned. And I just kind of went down this rabbit hole of like watching all these videos, and I was like, man, this place is different, you know, for sure. Sorry about that. So yeah, like so from like all not all so from most of the videos, particularly of the victims that I was watching, um, they were, let's just say they're doing things and getting into things that they probably shouldn't have, or they shouldn't have gone to a place that they should have, they shouldn't have gone to certain places or been hanging out with certain people. And I know that as like a seasoned traveler who's been to, I would say, much worse countries, more dangerous countries than Colombia, you're just not going to do certain stupid things. And just like I always advise people who coming to Jamaica and who are being fear mongered by certain headlines, it's just like you're not going to do certain things. You're not going to go to certain neighborhoods. Or at least you shouldn't be. And I felt like that was the, you know, that was kind of just the energy that I went into Colombia with. So initially when I got there, I was just like, it was just like I was just so stupid, like in terms of just being overly fearful. Like I was just thinking people were gonna like come and try to pickpocket me. So like my head was on a swivel. Like the hotel that I was staying at. I got the map up. I'll bring it up in a second. It was like, you know, like a mile walk. And like when I go to other countries, like I love walking. I love walking to different places. I love walking and exploring the city or whatever have you. So like, you know, walking a couple miles and like kind of just being in tourist mode, but also trying to blend in. Like I enjoy that as well. And like that was kind of one of the things like I always try to do is like anywhere that I'm going is like trying to blend in. In certain places, obviously that's impossible, like going to Japan or something like that. But I was told by a Colombian that like I could easily pass for a Colombian. So I thought that was good, like in terms of like how people dress and everything like that. And so I, you know, I dressed accordingly and tried to blend in as much as possible and not stick out and not try to draw unnecessary attention to myself. after the first couple of days, I realized like, man, this is actually like a relatively safe neighborhood. And then also it's like kind of like a little upper class. Like I was thinking like as I was passing like all these mini malls, like they're absolutely beautiful, like these beautiful, beautiful malls that they had. Like I don't know, remember the name of the street, but they were like better than a lot of American malls. They weren't like huge like mega malls. There was one Santa Fe mall that was probably the biggest mall that I went to, and it was like really close to my hotel. It was like a block and a half away from my hotel, so I used to just walk there and just kind of walk around. That's how I kind of acclimatized myself to the culture there. But then, like when you're like going to like the more popular area in El Poblado, and you're walking down this main street, I'll bring up the map in a second. Again, there's like mall after mall after mall, and you realize, and then you're also looking at like a lot of these, very nice high-end cars, luxury cars driving around, and like people going about their day and going about their business. And then I slowly came to realize, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to be fine. And I just stopped, really putting my head and my energy in that direction, and just kind of let myself breathe a little bit, lower my shoulders, and enjoyed the time there. Uh, Kind of getting back to the safety aspect and comparing Colombia to Jamaica. And this is obviously coming from somebody on the outside looking into a country that I've never been to. And also there's a huge language barrier. And where I was like, obviously anybody who's traveling or going anywhere, like safety is always, number one. And also like with the mindset that like, oh, Colombia is like so dangerous, like eventually get into that mindset, like Colombia is so dangerous, so dangerous. And then I'm like, man, how dangerous can it be? So I'm like kind of goes like having these conversations with myself, going back and forth, and also comparing that to Jamaica. So like even for Jamaicans who are considering coming back to Jamaica and looking at Jamaica and like reading certain headlines, are visitors who are considering coming here and reading certain headlines, and they're saying like this and that, and some of it like and I realized like with Jamaica, like it's a very different situation here in terms of those concerns, where and my friend was telling me, he's like, oh, just think about Colombia as if you would Jamaica in terms of like how it's perceived in the news, like it can't be as bad as it seems. And then it's like, no, it's not, that's not the case. And to Kelly's point about the U.S. Embassy putting out a warning, is like there are tourists are being targeted, and a lot of Black Americans are being targeted as well. And Eva here put out drop a passport, bro, Medellin. No, but that is also the reason. I guess one of the reasons why. But like I've been hearing that like the targeting of tourists has been happening for a long time. But in particular, there's been like a lot of Black men who have been Black American men, that is, who have been targeted. But I think again, a lot of them put themselves in this position. And the one difference I would say with things that are happening to one in here in Jamaica, crime against tourists is less than 1%. Thankfully, knock on wood, we're very, very blessed for that. And in comparison, at least I haven't seen, like almost a genre of YouTube videos dedicated to being drugged and robbed in Jamaica, or being drugged and robbed in like Colombia. And that exists like in a big way. And it's like, so again, I think because of the holiday season in which I was going down and these videos were coming out, like there's so many of these dudes were just getting robbed. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost their lives recently, as a matter of fact, because of this. And I was warned by people who live in Colombia, as a matter of fact. Before I went down, I reached out to a friend of mine, and she's originally from Atlanta, and she was living in Colombia and been living in Colombia. And she was just like giving me all this advice and just telling me what to watch out for and what to look out for. I was like, oh man, this is serious. This is real. This is crazy. And so that's just kind of like, and I don't mean to speak badly of Colombia. Like I am definitely 100% going back. I learned so much. Definitely need to learn Spanish, as a matter of fact. I had a great time, and none of that stuff is going to deter me from going there. But like looking at like the accommodation aspects of it in comparison to here, like moving from the hotel that I was talking about to the Airbnb, which where I spent most of my time, I stayed at this place called Go Living and Suites, and I paid $53 a night for that. I'm in the YouTube video I'm gonna create. I'm gonna get all the details of that, put all the details of that in the video, and go through all the finances. And I'm already starting to put a spreadsheet together with my credit card and everything like that. So, kind of getting away from the crime aspect of it and more talking about the finance. These were very modern accommodations, again, in a good location. See if I can pull up the map here. There we go. So yep, here is this is Medellin, and let's see, hopefully, okay, here we go. This is the El Poblado area. This is where I was staying. I wish I could remember the name of my hotel. Sorry, I wish I was more helpful. But this is the main road that I walked up. And so this is the main road that I walked up pretty much every day. I'm almost certain this is it. And then either this one or this one. The main area. And then this was this is like the main neighborhood where like all the Parque Lorales. Yeah. This was the main area. So this is like the nighttime where everything was happening in at night. A couple of places that I actually went to. So Click Clack Hotel, that was an awesome rooftop bar overlooking Medellin. I got a sports massage Medellin. I actually went there twice. Like amazing. They have a one of those. I didn't do this, but they have like ice baths. They have like one of those cryo mechanisms that you can go in, and really super advanced stuff. And a lot of the stuff is very affordable. At least a lot cheaper than it is here, and definitely in the States. But yeah, this was like one of the main areas that I went to, and like I said, it was about a mile walk. And this was, I believe, again, this was like the main area that I was the main street that I was walking down. They have a lot of co-working spaces as well. Provenza is another really popular area. You'll see all this in my YouTube video. And yeah, and then also they have Uber, which we don't have here in Jamaica. Unfortunately, we do. Sorry, but not as much, not as prominent as in Colombia, both in Medellin and in Bogota. And so that helped. I was told to just kind of just do that instead of taxis, because I don't speak Spanish, so that was just a lot easier for me. But it was a great time there in general. Let's get that back up. And so I'm just gonna be doing like a full financial breakdown of the trip, and it's just I'm so happy that I went there, because especially the place that I was living in, and then you also see like so much construction happening, and you're seeing like a lot of residential buildings, and like they have not a housing crisis, but they don't have enough housing. At least this is what I've been told. They don't have enough housing for locals. But the place that I was staying in, there's like a lot of these. It was like super modern. It was like a New York City apartment building, and it was like perfectly laid out. I think it was a 14-story building, great location, $53 a night. But you're not going to find something like that here in Jamaica, and so it was definitely a more affordable area. But you just get so much more, and so it's interesting because there's also like kind of the same complaints that that's happening here in Jamaica in terms of the housing for locals, or just not just housing, but the expense of living for locals just continue to rise, and a lot of it is being driven by expats, a lot of it's being driven by repats, a lot of it's being driven by tourists. And one of the videos that I was watching, and I thought this was great advice, and I was making this mistake when I first got to Colombia, but the dude said, "Don't over tip because what you're doing, just because you think it's cheap or it's affordable, or you think they should be getting more, but what you're doing is you're actually inflating prices for tourists." And normally, you like at least New York, 20% tip, like that's kind of just always been my standard, and I just always did that, and like people would like lighten up, like this is crazy, and I'm talking about like, and sometimes like a 20% tip would be like the equivalent of seven, maybe $10, and they'd be very, very appreciative of it, like 20% tip, but usually the standard there is between 8 and 10%. And so that's something to take into I really started doing. I was like, all right, that's right. Even though I wanted to be giving and a little bit more, and I gave out like the other thing too, and I know I'm just kind of going on different tangents here, is that like what was so sad, and that I gave a good amount of money to, was a lot of the people from Venezuela, like they were like migrants who just walked from Venezuela to Colombia, which is crazy. And it was just like so sad, like especially at night, you seeing like these mothers with these babies like in the street, and it wasn't like one or two, it was like just hundreds of them, like just kind of like when I'm walking back, like you're just seeing them across the street, on the street you're walking, you just feel terrible, this is there, and the baby's trying to sleep, and like people are just having the time of their life walking past these people, and it was just like heartbreaking to see just like in abundance. And I don't know what they're going to do about that, and I felt terrible. I have no idea what they're going to do about that and how they're going to solve that, but they seem to just continue to be coming, and they are seemingly, a lot of them are on their way of walking to the United States, which again is just mind boggling to me, absolutely mind boggling. And so I guess in general, like there are positives and negatives with living and moving anywhere, uh, especially if you're coming from a place like states or somewhere that you're used to. And it's just interesting to kind of compare and contrast, very, as I was saying, digital nomad meccas, very, very different from Tulum, and just very different from Tulum. It's just Tulum is a little bit more advanced. I feel like it's on a little bit more of a bubble than the rest of Mexico, whereas like Medellin and even Bogota is like it's completely integrated. The digital nomad scene and the local population. So there's kind of no separating the two. Whereas in like Tulum, it's very much a town of people who are not from there. At least that's what I observe. But I still do want to go back and spend a little bit more time there and do a little bit more in-depth research and get off the Tulum beach. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, and spend more time in the downtown residential area than on the super tourist hotel part of the beach. But it's interesting, and I'm saying all that. I'm saying all that to like use these experiences and use these travel experiences and bring them back to Jamaica more than anything else, learn from the mistakes of other cities and other countries and bring that insight here. And I think that's like so important, and I look at just the importance of having these experiences and trying to bring them back. Like they're great personal experiences for me for sure, but at the end of the day, I'm using like all my worldly travel, like kind of just like my dad did in building travelers. The ideas and the inspiration that he got to build this hotel was from the 100+ countries uh, that he visited over the years, and bringing all that to bringing all that to here, the travelers, and bringing that to Jamaica. So, and in a sense, I'm doing that in my own way. What else do I want to talk about? I think that's about it. Kelly, you asked about the food. Food was amazing. Very, very international. You pretty much could get everything. You can get, sushi, Mexican, Colombian. Italian, American. They have great beef. They have amazing beef there. As a matter of fact, I mean, South America, I guess, is known for their beef, and so I really enjoy the diversity of the food. I did go to McDonald's. Sorry, internet again. But overall, food was good. Um, yeah, I didn't find any Jamaican spots. Not that I actually went out and tried to, but didn't find any Jamaican spots. But I'm sure I would think that they do have it somewhere. I'm sure. But yeah, definitely miss Jamaica for sure when I was there, and I'm excited to put together the long form video. It's going to be a lot more detailed than me just kind of running off on my what I could remember here. Uh, so that's gonna be fun. I don't know when that's gonna come out because we got so much content that I have not put out yet that I'm currently working on and will be putting out as soon as humanly possible. But for the most part, that was Colombia. I flew out of Bogota. I spent a few days in Bogota on the back end of the trip. I wish I spent more time in Bogota. Um, I really like that city. I really liked it. It was a little bit more normal in the sense that like Medellin has like just so many tourists, and they're and like Bogota's the capital of Colombia, so it was just more normal life, if you will. And I stayed in this area called Zona T, which I didn't. I mean, I got lucky. It was very. I guess it was a high. I didn't know it was a high end area, and had these beautiful shopping malls and plazas. Again, phenomenal restaurants. I got my haircut in Colombia like 3 times because it was affordable, and then you kind of got like this high end barbershop treatment as well, which was cool. Again, all going to be in my video when I put it out eventually, whenever that happens. But yeah, that was Colombia. Met some great people. Also went to this like I don't even know why I'm talking about it because it's just so hard to imagine. But there was this church that was inside a mountain. It was like these salt mines. I'll post about it. I'll post about it eventually. But met a lot of great people out there. Just showing me around, telling me about their culture, helping me with Spanish and everything like that. So it was fun overall. I was in Colombia almost 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks. Just under 3 weeks. I wish I could have stayed longer. It's like one of those things like man flies. But I'm definitely gonna be doing like that's like the perfect time of the year. I'm realizing like for the team here, for the Throt Media team, and also for myself to like just take off a few weeks and just with the YouTube calendar as well. So that's gonna kind of be etched in the calendar from here on forward. Alfonso, man, happy New Year to you as well. Glad to be back. Good to be back. All right, we'll save the rest of Colombia for the video for future YouTube video. Now, I guess we can get into Jamaica stuff. There's been like so much stuff happening here. Oh man, I'm sorry. I should have had like this stuff queued up, but let's see. All right. So, all right, we're gonna stick with kind of Negril. We're gonna stick with the West a little bit here. So let's start off with more exciting news. I mean, everything's exciting I'm about to talk about, as a matter of fact. But to start with, I don't know if you recently saw, a lot of people sent it to me. The Dinner in the Sky happening. And again, we talked about it several times here. Just waiting for it to load. So Dinner in the Sky is coming to Negril. They actually had the meeting press conference about it here at Travelers last week, the day I got back, as a matter of fact. Coming in with some mixed reviews online. I feel like trying to be careful about how I say my words here. I'm starting to realize like there's like a fraction of people who want, I was gonna say Jamaica, but I'll stick with Negril because I know this to be a fact, that want Negril to stay the same. And not in a good way. At least I don't perceive it to be in a good way. There's a fraction of people who just want things to stay the same here and don't want Negril to modernize. And it's just so interesting to me. And a lot of those people, I'm seeing it in the comments on, these Facebook groups and everything like that. Like, they're not from Jamaica. They're not from here. But there is this yearning for things to like almost stay down and be down. And it's just so interesting to see the consistency and the type of people who want it to be this way and and the way I'm looking at it and interpreting it, want the grill to stay down. And I'm also interpreting that they also want Jamaica to stay down for whatever reason. And so with Dinner in the Sky, and I'm like, sorry, I'm just not being clear on what exactly this is. So this is the article here. And these are the two ladies who are actually doing it. That is Samantha and Crystal Closer. And I hope I'm saying that right. Caselor. Sorry if I got that wrong. And they are the proprietors and investors in this. And so that is I don't know if everybody's aware of the concept of Dinner in the Sky. So essentially, you are, from my understanding, unfortunately, even though I was here, I wasn't in the meeting because I just got in. I wish I was, and I wish I didn't meet them, the owners. But there's a crane and you're hoisted in the air and you're essentially given dinner and served dinner in the sky, as the name rightfully reflects, right? And so let's go through the article real quick, just so everybody has context here. Sky High Dining, Jamaican-born businesswoman spearheads $240 million dinner in the Sky restaurant in Negril. And this came out on January 11th. And this was written by Janet Silvera. Jamaican-born businesswoman Samantha Caselor is spearheading a $240 million dinner in the Sky investment in West End Negril, Westmoreland, set for completion in August of this year. The innovative Sky dining experience, the first of its kind in Jamaica, will elevate diners 45 meters high by a crane, offering breathtaking views of Negril and the Caribbean Sea during a 4-course meal. Each of the 6 daily sessions will host 22 people, providing a thrilling, immersive experience, according to Caselor, the company CEO. Caselor, sorry if I'm butchering your name, a St. Andrew native who migrated to the United States at the age of 12, currently operates 23 stores in the United States. The company's chief operating officer, Crystal, addressed safety concerns by highlighting the impeccable safety record of the 67 Dinner in the Sky restaurants worldwide, which have been in operation since 2006. The 3-hour dining experience will be priced from $220 US to $310 US per person, welcomes children as young as 12 and adults up to 300 pounds. Positive experience. The idea to bring Dinner in the Sky to Jamaica originated from the founders' positive experience with the concept in Europe. Caselor expressed, Jamaica is a premium destination now for tourists, and my heart is here. It was a no-brainer, emphasizing safety, customer service, ambiance, and gourmet meals. Crystal highlighted additional features like a live DJ and a virtual reality experience. Located near the Negril Lighthouse, the attraction has received wholehearted support from the Negril Chamber of Commerce, with President Elaine Bradley stating, "Dining in the sky is a good new adventure for people to experience, and I hope they embrace it." Negril, known for its diverse accommodations and eateries, welcomes this unique venture as an exciting addition to its offerings, added Bradley, describing the West End as a jewel in the crown in Jamaica. We'll be having a live DJ 45 meters high while customers are enjoying our meal. We have a virtual reality experience if you are into 3D gaming activity, and there is just a wonderful environment and amazing adventurous experience. It is really a different way of dining, an adventurous way, said Crystal. Welcome to Wholeheartedly. The new Jamaican attraction is approximately half a mile from the popular Rick's Cafe, going further west, and in its presence in a town renowned for gaining its fame from hippies of the 1960s, has been welcomed wholeheartedly. In fact, Bradley says there is a market for this type of offering. As people want to always try new things, that's why we climb mountains. So I believe dining in the sky is a good new adventure for people to experience, and I hope they embrace it, she told the Gleaner. Dinner in the Sky has began in Belgium as a Belgian success story in 2006 by a young marketing entrepreneur, David Giles and Stefan Kerhoffs. Currently, it operates in more than 67 different countries on 5 continents, covering Europe, Australia, Japan, Dubai, South Africa, Brazil, and the United States. Mexico, Canada, China, Jamaica, and many more. These restaurants are ranked as being among the top 10 most unusual restaurants in the world by Forbes magazine. Although the experience will not officially open until August, the operators say they have opened bookings, and this has been well received. That's awesome. I think that's really awesome. Like I said, if you're in these Facebook groups, you can see. We can call it skepticism if you want. I call it hate, bad mind, whatever you want to call it. People who don't like this and who don't want to see this. But I do want to bring attention to one part here, a sentence that I don't know which one of the case lawyers said this, but and I think this is like the reality of what is going on here. And she says, Jamaica is a premium destination now for tourists, and my heart is here. It is a no-brainer. And I said this like several times. And before, and we've talked about this, like the direction that Jamaica is moving in. And I probably started saying this like 4 years ago when I started doing these live streams, or 3 years ago when I started doing these live streams, is like you can see the direction that Jamaica is going in, and it definitely is becoming a luxury destination. I'll point specifically to air travel. Like this is probably one of the biggest pieces of evidence in regards to the direction that we're heading in, and it's hard to like kind of shy away from that. And so let's look at the airport lounge. So you look at Club Bay, which I think is a phenomenal service that is offered as Club Kingston and Club Bay. So the 2 international airports here in Jamaica, main international airports, I should say now, in Jamaica. And you have 2 options. They like when you're arriving to Jamaica, they actually have a service where they're like, as you get off the plane, you get customary service, VIP service through customs, through immigration. So you're not waiting online, and you have a concierge who guides you through that whole entire process and literally holds your hand through it. That's one. And then that's when you're arriving. Sorry, we cut out again. And then when you're leaving, you got the lounge to go hang out in, and very, very nice lounge. They actually have 2 in Montego Bay, and when I saw them build a second lounge that they had there, I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. I see where we're going. And we all got to think about what customer demographic are going to be looking for these lounges. And I always think like the credit card people, and I'm a credit card person. And if you don't, and what I mean by this is like, I am a person that is all about the points. and I'm very strategic in how I use my credit card and where I use which credit card to gain the most points, whether through their credit card points or whether they're getting miles with Delta. And that's how I paid for half of my Colombia trip. More than half of it was through credit card and airline points because I'm strategic in how I use my cards. And one of the benefits of certain credit cards is that you get these global lounge access. And these are, I would say, these are more high end, fiscally responsible clientele that is catering to this. And so when you have a demand of that certain type of clientele who are who are expecting this when they're traveling because of their credit card perks and their credit card bonuses, and you're building these facilities for them, that says a lot. And then you couple that also, I know I said two, but let's go with three, that let's look at we talked about this before in the channel, is what is that? I don't want to get this wrong. The 5,000 rooms that are coming to the Western region. And when I say Western, I'm talking more Negril, Green Island, Hanover area. I mean, we're talking about maybe a stretch of 15 to 20 miles, 5,000 rooms. These are not 3-star hotels. These are all 5-star hotels that are being built. These 5,000 rooms, all of them. And as I said before, like comparing to Colombia, for example, like you're not going to pay the $96 or whatever it is that I paid for the 4-star hotel that I was staying at in Colombia. You're going to be paying hundreds of dollars per night to stay at those hotels. And I'm sure they have rooms that will be thousands of dollars per night. And so these groups, these multinational conglomerates, they're investing to make a profit. They're investing to attract a certain level of clientele. And I'm not saying, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there isn't room in the market for 2, 3, 4-star hotels. Like, not at all. There is tons of room, because there are people, like, when you're seeing, like, and of course these multinational companies, they have mega marketing budgets. So they're going to all be marketing Jamaica like crazy. Like, of course, their hotel, inadvertently, there's going to be crumbs that are going to fall off the table that Jamaica as a whole, even outside of the tourist industry, is going to benefit from. And so even like a small hotel like us, who doesn't have these tens of millions of dollars in marketing budget, like, we're definitely going to benefit from that as well. Like, the more eyeballs, as I always say, that we can get on Jamaica, especially positive eyeballs that we can get in Jamaica, the better. And these big companies are going to be bringing that to the table. And I think it's definitely a big positive for Jamaica as a whole. But again, like, let's look at the writing on the wall and what's happening here, and where these dollars are going, and what these dollars are, who these dollars are looking to attract. And as again, I don't know which one, if it was Crystal or not, she says, Jamaica is a premium destination now for tourists, and my heart is here. It was a no-brainer. And this is another, like, Jamaican-born investor coming back and spending over $1 million US in their investment. And they obviously see something. And then when you look at the price point, I believe it was 230 to 350. Excuse me. $220 to $310 US per person, for one meal. So, I mean, that's obviously going after, again, a certain. It's just the direction that we're going in, as a whole. And I think that's going to bring in a lot more dollars into the country and a lot more tax revenue as well. Eva says they're trying to price out the middle class from vacationing in Jamaica, which means locals won't be able to vacation locally. I don't think so. My brother pointed this out to me. It's like, Oh no, was it my brother? So I forget. I think it was my brother and somebody else pointed that out to me. But when you look at, I think it was it was another hotelier. As a matter of fact, it was another small hotelier whose prices are higher than our prices here at Travelers. And he was telling me, and we actually did a podcast together about this that we're going to be posting at some point. But he was making the point. So he made 2 points. One was about COVID, and one was about post COVID in terms of the demographics that he's seeing at his hotel. And he's saying more now than ever. He's seeing more locals come to his establishment, mostly from Kingston and other parts of the island, but they're coming and staying in the Grill. And like same thing with COVID, what kept hotels that remained open, especially when the country was locked down, and also definitely during post COVID, was Jamaicans. And he was making the point saying that Jamaicans, and I don't know, perhaps this isn't statistically proved, but just from his observation, even my observation, is you're seeing more Jamaicans having more disposable income than ever before. And they're coming out to Negril. They're doing the staycations more than ever before, and we're seeing that too. I mean, we've always been a local, a very, would I say local first hotel in a sense, but a large majority of our clientele here is local, and we take pride in that. You know, a lot of people, we even have clients that come here, guests that come here that do business in the Grill, and they come stay with us. Quite often, as a matter of fact, we are the choice hotel for many Jamaicans who are coming, say, from Kingston or even Ochi, who are coming out for a weekend with their family. And I think that's going to continue to grow and go in that direction. So I don't think that there is any sort of conspiracy to price out middle class, and especially middle class Jamaicans. I think it's going to, as I said earlier, I think it's going to create more of an opportunity as these 5,000 luxury room 5-star hotels come into play. To me, it's just like somebody who has 5-star money, yes, they want to come to Jamaica and enjoy Jamaica, but also people who have 3 and 2-star money, they want to come to Jamaica as well. So yeah, I think there's going to be a huge market, huge market, that now that more eyeballs are going to be on Jamaica, because these 5,000 rooms, they're going to be marketing to the world, and they're going to want their clientele to be coming to Jamaica. And there is going to be spin-offs from that. There is going to be people who are looking in Jamaica, and it's just like a sandals commercial. Like I always looked at it like that. Is like anytime, like this is even before I got into the hotel business, when I was a kid, when I was seeing sandals commercials and in New York when I was in college or whatever, I was like, I thought this was huge. I thought this was great, because there are people who can't afford sandals, but they can afford Travelers, but they still want to come for that one love vibe. They still want to come on the same beach that we share with Sandals and Grill. They want to come and experience that. Yeah, you can walk up to Sandals too from here, Travelers, but at the end of the day, they still have a right to be here, and they still want to come and enjoy Jamaica. They still want to come and enjoy the culture, come and enjoy the food. Maybe a little bit different from Sandals, maybe a little bit different from that all inclusive, but nonetheless, you still get to experience it. So I think there's going to be a huge I think there's going to be, I think, a huge demand, and continue to be a huge demand, a huge opportunity for those who are looking to invest in, I would say, middle tier 3 to 4 star hotels, or even 2-star hotels. Because I also think too, and I'm saying this from the experience of Travelers in particular, like we were very much a big spring break hotel, one of the premier spring break hotels in all of Jamaica in the 90s and early 2000s. And in many ways, like our business was built on that. And this is, I would say, a more lower tier demographic, you know, because we're talking about college kids. They have no money. They want to come to Jamaica, spend a week out here, flight, food, and drinks included, for less than $1,000. And when I say less than $1,000, like they had packages from $700 to $900. And these spring break companies were cramming these kids in the room. They do 4 or 6 kids in a room, and the kids wouldn't care because they were in Jamaica. They were here to party. They were here to hang out on the beach. And so their room was a place to just drop their luggage, drop their stuff, and then go out and enjoy Jamaica and party with their friends. And I remember this was kind of almost when I first moved here. I was super biased in trying to keep spring break in Jamaica and keep it in Negril because, again, my family's hotel was in many ways built off of that. But I remember sitting in this is a JHTA meeting, as a matter of fact, and it was at Grand Lido before it was turned into Royalton. And we're sitting in their conference room, and I'm green. I'm like 24, 23 years old. Didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm there trying to advocate for spring break and why we need it and how we can do this to bring it back. But then, like, the hoteliers were the Negril hoteliers, and I really didn't know them that well at that point. They were just like, the kids mess up their rooms. The spring break companies aren't really paying market value for the room, and all these things, and everybody was against it. And I realized, like, at that point that, and then the JTB was also against it. And I realized at that point that Jamaica was getting away from this lower tier demographic. And I was just like, man, what's going to happen here? And I didn't have the vision or the foresight to understand what they were doing. And what they were doing was really preparing for, like, now 20 years down the road. And they understood, at least, maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but in my mind, at least, they understood where the hockey puck was going, so to speak, and where Jamaica needed to go, and that it needed to get away from this lower end tier of clientele and move to a luxury clientele, because we're not like a Mexico, right? Where they can literally segment their market by region because it's such a large country. And um and maybe we can. I mean, I was about to say, I think the Dominican Republic actually is able to do that. But nonetheless, I feel like back then Jamaica made a very conscious decision to go in more of a luxury direction, and they did. But I think on the other side of that coin is we do need to focus on our younger demographic, right? And and I know this for a fact, many of the spring breakers who were in their 17, 18, and I remember Adam Stewart, as a matter of fact, said this himself, the CEO of Sandals, in a meeting, is that many of the first time Jamaica comers to Jamaica that were in college, and maybe they were in med school or whatever have you, that they had their first experience coming to Negril and coming to Jamaica during spring break on this very cheap package. And they eventually, as they still have good memories, good feelings, good vibes about Jamaica when they were young. And 10, 20 years later, when they're in their prime of their career and they're lawyers, doctors, whatever have you, entrepreneurs, now they become Sandals clients. Now they're paying the $1,000 a night and they're bringing their family. And then eventually they go from Sandals to beaches because they have kids and they bring their family, all that sort of thing. And so you see it, like, it's important that a country and definitely companies have this, like, long-term 20-year trajectory and plan. It's just like, you just can't think of the now. You have to think of, like, what's going to happen where, in like say, for example, if, like, right now we're only going after millennials, right? And we just continue to cater to millennials for 20, 30, 40 years. What's going to happen to Gen Z? Gen Z is eventually going to come into the income bracket when they're 30 and 40 years old, that we're going to want to start attracting them to Jamaica. But we don't want to price them out so far that they can't come and experience Jamaica at maybe a backpacker level, so to speak, and
do it a certain way, but then fall in love with Jamaica because I've met people who came here when they were 18 and felt like they should have been born in Jamaica and that this is their place that they want to stay, live, and they come back year after year after year. But we have to be able to create the opportunity for those people and for those young people and for people on a budget. So I say all that to say that I think we have to think in that way, and I think there is again going to be continue to be great opportunity for that demographic of people. I mean, the brand Jamaica is just so strong, so strong. In college, like every dorm room has a Bob Marley poster. Maybe not every, but every other dorm room has a Bob Marley poster. Like reggae is such a strong part of the college culture, at least back in my day, and I would presume that continues to be the same here and now. So anyway, as much as I talk about Jamaica moving in this luxury, and it was also stated in the article, in this luxury direction, I think there is there has to be a certain level of acceptance and understanding and like kind of seeing the writing on the wall. And as I always say, in terms of the direction that Jamaica is heading in, yeah, certain people can sit and complain about it and be mad that it's moving in a certain direction. But I think the smarter move is, because you have to think like, what can you do to fight it, right? But I think the smarter move is like, how can you put yourself in a position to not be left behind, or perhaps even be put in a position to take advantage of what I think is inevitable and what is coming. And so I think that's the smarter move and the smarter way to look at it. And when I talk about young people, and like this is probably where my biggest concern is, and it's and because the same thing is in the United States, there's a lot of talk about young people just not being able to afford to just live, period. And I think there is a lot of that here in Jamaica. And like for young people, it's just going to take time. And I think that there are opportunities that are continuing to come and continue being created. But like, I think that it's going to just take time, because I always think about like owning your own home, and like at what point can you own your own home? Like, can you see yourself owning a home? And we've gone through this in great detail here on this channel. And so I think, and I think about young people specifically here in Negril, because like I want to figure out a way, and like I continue, like almost weekly I have discussions about this, but continue to figure out a way to attract young Jamaicans to Negril, and because to me is like that's the future of Negril, and like that's how you really build Negril. Like if we can get a really strong young professional population to come to Negril, to work here, to live here, to create business, to create opportunities for themselves, I think that is one of the greatest ways that we can grow this community. All right, there's a lot of comments here. Let me get to them. We got some donations coming in here. Darnell, thank you so much, man. Always appreciate your contributions. Says, welcome back, Throp. Happy New Year. I'm late to the stream, but I'm interested in your review of Colombia. Also, I'm looking at property in Cousins Cove. Have you been there? How is it? I talked at length about Colombia, but just to give you a brief synopsis, absolutely loved it. I did a bit of a compare and contrast, slightly in respect to the cost of living and the quality of life compared to Jamaica. But I'm going to be making a video that is going to go into much more detail of that in the next couple of weeks. So you can look out for that, and I'll definitely post and update everybody on that. I don't know Cousins Cove too well, but I've heard of several people investing in that area, though. More villa style investment. I'm not sure if that's what you're considering, Darnell, but I don't know it too well. Sorry, I'm just keep checking the weather because I got the camera out there and it looks like they're taking up stuff. So I just want to make sure I can quickly get out there if it starts raining to bring the camera in. And so, yeah, I don't know too much about Cousins Cove, but again, I've heard of several people investing there, and it seems like a popular area to investing. I guess I need to start looking into that myself, so I can be aware. Justin says, I need to dip out, have some pre-game preparations to make. We'll catch the rest of the replay. Playoffs, go Cowboys. Yeah, forgot to congratulate you on that, Justin. Congratulations on you guys making the playoffs. And thank you, Justin, so much. Gifted a Throt membership to somebody. I think it's random. So if you got the membership, if you just got a membership, you can thank Justin, and he just gifted it to somebody. So I think you get a 1 month membership. So he did it twice, as a matter of fact. Thank you so much, Justin. Really appreciate it, and welcome to for those whoever it is, whoever the two people is who became members. Welcome to the members only club. Alfonso Worth says the tourism sector in Jamaica is expanding massively. Princess Hotel and Casino is getting ready to open 1,000 rooms this April. Riu also slated to open a 750 room hotel in Trelawney and in Montego Bay. Big things coming on the North Coast and in the West in tourism. There are 2 large hotels that are coming here in Green Island. Yeah, Green Island. Like I think Alfonso, we talked about it last time. Hold on, let me see if you mentioned it before I go into it. All right, yeah, let me get your comments and then we'll talk about it. But I'm talking about the 2. I think it's a Marriott and a Wyndham coming into the early Hanover area here. I'm talking about 20 minutes from here. Big properties. One is an 850 room hotel. Shoot, I can't remember how big the Wyndham was. It slips me. I don't want to give out wrong information, or at least the information that I heard. Let me get through the rest of your comments here, Alfonso. The Unico 77 is under construction with the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino and Ritz-Carlton all on one property. Amazing. I think you got another one here. This Saturday, January 20th, the massive Pinnacle development is breaking ground for 428 story building. It will be a massive development on the waterfront in Reading. I think that's all of Alfonso's hotel comments. Yeah, so a lot going on, a lot going on. And these are huge things. Like it's just so crazy, like the amount of things that are happening. And then and I always say, like, we're hearing about these groundbreakings and the construction. Like this stuff has been in the works for years. Like all this planning takes years and years and years. And man, Jamaica is going to be a different place in like 5 short years. A very different place in 5 short years. I think this region, this part of Jamaica, is going to be very different in 5 very short years. Like I said, I commend my dad. I feel like, just being in Negril, and being on this beach, it's just like, it really is like investing in Microsoft in the 70s. And it's still not, and I'm not to say like that to say that I'm in a privileged position or anything. Like I am, I recognize that, but I also say that to say is it's like there's still so much opportunity here. And it's just, even from like a residential standpoint, but that, like when I say residential, I put that in under the umbrella of Airbnb and that sort of thing, long-term rentals. But I also say, from a commercial standpoint, I think there's just so many amenities that are needed here. And I was having this discussion yesterday with a couple of team members that were working on with doing some upgrades here at the hotel. And it's like, I'd like to get your thoughts on this. I was going to save this for Patreon and channel members, but probably in more detail. But like one of the things that we need, like as Jamaica continues to move in this luxury direction, and like Negril also, it's like it's great to me that we have this focus on tourism and we're having all this commercial investment in terms of hospitality coming into Jamaica and coming to Negril. But it's also like I think there also needs to be a huge focus on the residents. And with the residential aspect is like it's going to be high end. It's going to be both, because like there is there's also like as these 5,000 rooms coming, like you're going to need thousands and thousands of housing for for the workers. I mean, from the GM all the way down to the line cook, the wait staff. Like you need housing. There's just not enough housing. So I think there's a lot of opportunity out there for affordable housing for workers, because I know the NHT is looking for developers, and I don't know, I have zero idea of what that criteria is. So, don't even ask me about that. But I do know that they're looking for developers to do housing for for um for workers. I also know that, and I know I said the Wyndham. I'm not sure if that is the hotel. That's the name of the hotel that is in Orange Bay, Green Island area coming. But I know they are doing, as part of the deal of building the hotel, they have to build housing. Or I don't know if they have to, but they are building housing for their workers. So like thousands of homes that they're building as well. So there's opportunity in that. So kind of getting back to Negril, and like my question is like, when I look at Colombia, and Colombia is considered a relatively poor country. I'm not sure if it's considered a third world country, but it's a poor country, and then also like the wealth gap and the disparity between the have and have nots is like it's huge. It's huge. But they have incredible amenities like Medellin and Bogota, like incredible amenities from, like I was telling you earlier, like all these different types of restaurants, 4 or 5 star restaurants, great service, great food, like consistent. I did not have a bad meal in Colombia. I'll say that right now. The worst meal I had was in the airport lounge in Medellin. That's about it. But like, I mean, that aside, like that doesn't even count, But I didn't have a bad meal there. Didn't have bad service either. And again, I'm comparing it to Jamaica because the soon come situation. We all are aware of that. We've all experienced that. But there was none of that. So I think, like, man, they are a poor country, and wealth disparity is great, but they have all these amazing amenities. They have theme parks, they have huge movie theaters, they have Uber, they have like all these nice cars, they have a functioning public transportation system with a gondola, buses, trains. And I'm like, man, we're missing all these amenities. So public sector amenities aside, but I'm more so looking at the I would say commercial amenities that would support a community. And my question is just like, how do we attract, like in Negril, like my question was like, how do we attract the those types of amenities, right? And so, like, say we wanted more diversification in restaurants, or say we wanted a movie theater here, a bowling alley, um, high-end nail salons, spas, like which we do have in the hotels, but like standalone businesses. We do have a couple of those actually, but more of that. More mini malls that would also encompass these high-end. I would say high-end. I wouldn't say even say high-end. I mean, they're kind of like normal, run-of-the-mill, to be expected. Like commercial shops that you would have, like say in Long Island or in the city or something like that. But like, how do we attract that and those types of businesses and those types of entrepreneurs to come and open their doors here? And like my answer, like, and I was kind of answering for myself, is like, I guess you need the population to support that, and you need a certain volume of a demographic to support those types of businesses. And how do we get those people to come here, and not to visit, like to live here? Like, and kind of going back to my earlier point of like, how do we attract young people to come here? But not only do we want them to be able to afford to pay rent and a nice place, but also we want them to support the local businesses here as well. And we need a certain, it's like, how do we attract, and then you couldn't do it like, I'm just thinking out loud here, right? You couldn't, like, you don't want to attract only like 10 or, for example, just throwing out numbers that like we don't want to attract like say 10 or 20 people, 10 or 20 families that are making 100, say 100,000 US dollars per year. We want to attract 300 or 400 families and people who are making that sort of money and coming here, living here, and earning that income. And to me, it doesn't necessarily matter if that is coming from Kingston or that is coming from South Florida, right? But we want people to come here to help build a community and to help invest in the community, bring taxes to the community, to be able to like do things like bring a high school to Negril, to have good roads to Negril 12 months of the year, to have an after school program, to have a playground for kids to hang out at. And to me, it's like all of this is through tax revenue, right? And then to be able to like sustain these things as well. And although, you know, and there's arguments that can be made that the disbursement of taxes through the chambers are not being dispersed in a fundamentally just way, and it's being concentrated in certain areas like Kingston, right? So like I've heard that argument before, but nonetheless, you know, I think if we can earn more tax revenue in Negril, can get more of it to go into public service aspects of like, again, road, schools, and that sort of thing. And this is like giving, again, I think of, you know, we always talk about crime, and to me it's like the 9 and 10-year-olds who are hustling on the beach are in other areas are doing whatever and not in school, but they're trying to make $1. In 10 years from now, they could potentially be, you know, the people that we don't want, the people who are criminals, right? And how do we give them opportunities in education and even outside of education so that they don't go down that route? And to me, investing in education. I don't know where that started from, but we went on a very, very long rant about investing in building Negril. And then I guess again my question is like, how do we attract this demographic in large numbers? And when I say large numbers, like I'm talking about like hundreds of people, of hundreds of high to middle class, high upper middle class income earners to Negril, and especially on the young side. And when I say young side, I'm talking about like, you know, 30, 35 sort of thing. But it would be great to get a lot of people who are coming fresh out of college, you know, and maybe they're in IT, and I'm talking about like UTech coming here to Negril. But in order to you know, to me, it's like this is why I was kind of opening up the amenities. In order to do that, like Negril has to have the amenities, but in order to have the amenities, we got to have the financial support of those amenities. So I don't know. Let me know what you all think. I'm gonna kind of hop down to some of these comments here. Let's see what's going on. I think I skipped a few above here. Simone says, I've learned the power of speech can build or tear down. As long as we continue to put out their locals will not be able to enjoy the best Jamaica has to offer. This will continue to be their reality. Good point. Nalo says, that's also why Airbnb is needed in Jamaica, gives more opportunities for people of lower econ status to be able to have getaway locally. Agreed. And there are, I think Airbnb is a great way for locals to earn income. And then two, it gives people who say again, who can't afford maybe a 5-star all-inclusive hotel to come here and to enjoy the culture of Jamaica and to still be able to come to Negril, because I know a lot of people and a lot of Airbnb hosts in all on the outskirts, you know, may not necessarily be here on the beach, but you know, you have an opportunity to stay in those accommodations as well. Kelly says, I used to sell those spring break trips. It was awesome back then. It really was. What an era. Danny says, Throp, when are you uploading the Throp X events from last year? I haven't even started working on that, to be honest. I don't know. I have to look into that. I don't want to tell you a date or a time. But I will try to figure it out this week. Thanks for the reminder. Corey MPA says, good afternoon all, and good to see you back in the new year. Throp just landed in the US. Okay, welcome home, man. Hopeton says, hello, top good Sunday to you, sir. Long time indeed. Angel says, I'll put London in my diary. Awesome. Claire E said, Jamaica is a place for the generations to be baptized wherever they end up in the world. Sunshine Baby says, I'm living in the UK and I can't take a holiday in this country because it's too expensive. Chris Grant said, well said, but that can't be done without jobs on the grill. Yep, I agree. I agree. It's just like, I said this before. Love hospitality, my bread and butter, my family's bread and butter. But we need to diversify industry out here in Negril for sure. And it doesn't have to be Negril. It could be outside of Negril. But like I said, if we, I think retail is a great way to diversify. I think there is a lot of opportunity in that, in having modern retail accommodation, modern uh, modern commercial real estate, right? So new shopping plaza. I think more modern shopping plaza. I know there's there's the, I don't know what else to call it, but the KFC shopping plaza that's coming up next to the hospital. That's going to be Negril's newest shopping plaza. I think there's room for more, and I think retail can spur investment. There is the, shouldn't bring it up, the old Hilo shopping plaza. So Mr. Issa has invested in it or reinvested in it. So actually, I actually want to bring that up. Let me see if I saved it. So that's kind of the next thing I wanted to bring up. So Sunshine Plaza. It's great opportunity to bring up the map here. We'll get back to what I was talking about in a second, but I thought we've been talking about this for a while. So Sunshine Village shopping plaza on the west end of Negril. Gonna take down your comment there. So this is obviously the map of Negril. Got the 7-mile strip here. And then we're going downtown. So this is the roundabout of Negril. And then we're going to move to the west end. And early on in the west end, we have Sunshine Village, which is here. So this used to be this is where, in many ways, it's almost like center-ish of the town. And so that's where NCB was, and Hilo. And Hilo and NCB, even is still geotagged here, is now moved to the northern part of the beach, up here at Boardwalk Village Plaza. Just here. So this is where NCB and Hilo are now. And this is owned by Mr. Wallace, Richard Wallace, right? And so moving back to Sunshine, there we go. I thought this was going to turn into like an eyesore of Negril because it was like bad for a while, but thankfully, Mr. Issa bought it and he's refurbishing it. Has been refurbishing it. Let's see if I can get one of these screenshots up. Oh man, I'm missing it. Um, hmm. All right, so we got one, and if somebody can help me with it, so let me see if I could share this screen real quick. I thought this was exciting news. I know it's not going to share. Fortunately, I don't know why it does that. But anyway, there is a Scotchy's coming to. I was trying to show the picture, but Scotchy's is coming to that area, to that plaza, and also I can't remember the name of it, but it's a new. And if somebody can help me in the comments, if you know, a new supermarket as well. The one that is at Richmond Estate. Can anybody help me with that? That is that is supermarket that's going there. Somebody can. I know somebody knows the answer to that. But I think it's oh yeah, thank you, Kelly. I think it's like super exciting that we're getting a Scotchies, and for those that don't know, this is like I would say one of the biggest jerk brands in Jamaica. That's all over the island, and we're getting one here in Negril, so that's like super exciting. And then also, um, Lance's supermarket is coming to Sunshine Plaza as well. So, IFA Country Store. I think this is what it's called, like something country store. I think that's what it's called. So it's really exciting, really exciting that's happening, and that investment is coming to Negril. So the soft opening is next Friday. Yeah, next Friday. So I'll be going there. I'll be covering it, and getting the okay. I got it. Thank you, Kelly. She just texted me. Country store where fresh and wholesome unite. Let me see if I can send this to my computer. I don't know if that's going to. Oh, there we go. Thank you for that, Kelly. Appreciate that. So that is the grand opening, or the soft opening, will be in next Friday. So I'll be going there, and I'll definitely be doing a video. So super exciting, you know, that it's gone from this place that I was worried is going to turn into an eyesore, and now it's turning into a premier shopping plaza. So again, I think there's a lot of opportunity in retail in Negril, and Mr. Issa's investment is really a yeah, this is a shining example of that. Sorry, I skipped a lot of comments here. Let's go back up. But yeah, to your point earlier, Chris, like we do need jobs here, and again, I think there's a lot of opportunity in attracting different industries here. MZ says the tourism doesn't necessarily transfer to the betterment of the lives of people who live there. More revenue for foreign countries and expats. What about the actual people? Ooh, sorry. That I mean, that's hard. I mean, I know people who have, and then if you could be more specific, but like I know people who have started out as waiters who, you know, now are, you know, have their family and are homeowners. And I always say, like, the hotel industry is like the one industry, and then correct me if I'm wrong, is the only industry that I know of where you can literally start out as a gardener and work your way up to being a director of the company. I don't know of another industry that's like that, where you can literally start out that low and without a college education. Without a college education. And there are multiple examples of that, even in Negril, as a matter of fact, of people just starting at the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, and working their way up. And I think there is just so much opportunity in the hospitality industry if you're willing to work for it. And as these hotels come in and uh, that more skilled labor is being sought after. I mean, I think there's opportunity in it. I'm not saying hospitality is perfect by any means. There is the rollout of also the hospitality pension scheme as well, and so I think and hope that things continue to change in this direction and moving in a more positive direction in hospitality. But I still do think there's a lot of opportunity. But I also will kind of go back to my previous point that I think that Negril and even Jamaica, like we should be diversifying. But our our golden goose is hospitality. Our golden goose is tourism. Uh, why would we let that go in any way? And I think we need to continue to push the gas pedal down on that more than anything else, and continue to help it to grow and help it to prosper. And we're such a small island, but we're just competing against just giants in the world. And I'm talking about nations, and we're competing neck and neck with these countries and neck and neck with them, even though we're so small. African Tigress, hello, how are you doing? It would be nice to meet you. Been told amazing things about you. Thank you very much. Perhaps one day we'll run into each other. Clarity says, I'm so proud of myself for making the sacrifice to own land in Negril. I'm so excited about my business plans. Awesome. Congrats to you. Lobsan is seeking to develop a 1,000-room luxury resort. Oh, no, it's Princess Hotels. Okay, cool. Blooming Rose says, hi, all. Tourism shouldn't be the savior of islands like Jamaica. She needs to diversify. What about the locals who probably will live out of these developments? I think you're trying to say, as it is, we can't go on our own beaches. I've heard this before. I don't know where you're living, Blooming Rose, but definitely I would say Negril. I mean, thankfully Negril continues to be a public beach for locals and for everybody to enjoy. I agree. I keep saying, like, we need diversity for sure in the industry, but I think we'd be foolish not to help to push growth in tourism. I mean, we're so good at it. We need to continue to go down that road and not let that go. I don't think we should. Jamaican G says, I just built a new house on the rock because I knew that Jamaica is ready to boom. It definitely is. 1,000 rooms opening in Hanover. Sunshine Baby says Jamaica needs to sort out their customer service. I think that's in pockets. I really do think that's in pockets. I would say, generally speaking, Jamaica's customer service from when I first moved here in 2006 to now, night and day, right across the board. And I'm not saying you won't have, you won't have your experiences here and there, but across the board, customer service has gotten way better. Speed of food, speed of service. It's far from perfect. Don't get me wrong. It's far from perfect, but it has improved. I think we do have a long way to go. Generally speaking, there are outliers on both sides of that coin, but it has gotten better. But I think we still have a ways for sure, and we still have a lot of opportunity to improve. Drive-in movie theater. I think that would be great. Eva says we need to lower import duties before Jamaica can have that form of development that Colombia has. Shopping malls aren't even viable in Jamaica due to these duties, making goods too expensive. Great point, Eva. Great point. I mean, one positive thing that happened is is starting in April, I believe. The duty allowance has moved from 500 to 1,000. Somebody check me on that. So you can bring in things up to $1,000 duty free now, starting in April. Not now, starting in April, from what I understand and from what I remember. So, but good point. And because even if we are going to compete with, like, say, a Bahamas or even a Colombia, like the import tax, it definitely has to go down. Because, like, why would you come to Jamaica to shop? Um, yeah. It's a good point. And so I think that that has to be something that needs to be pushed, and that we definitely do need to make happen. And if we are going to start pushing our, the retail aspect of it. Great point. Miss Coco says it seems these small gems of vacation spots are becoming a more cookie cutter, hustle bustle, Americanized amusement parks. No thanks. Um, are you talking about the I don't think so. I mean, I haven't been to all of them, but I've seen pictures. I mean, these places are like magnificent in their own way, like very grand. Um, yeah, I haven't been to them, but I mean, there a lot of them are all inclusives. Everybody has their own, own perception about all inclusives, and I think all inclusives has its time and place in hospitality. For, like, me personally, it's not really how I travel and how I like to see countries and how I like to see cities or anything like that. But I think the last time it's not my first choice, put it that way. But I think it does, really great for Jamaica in a big way, in a big way. Donna Bright says, late to the live. Happy New Year, Throp and Throppers from Ottawa. Happy New Year to you as well. Donna, Chris Grant says, we need businesses to pay their employees in order to get the people you're looking for. Sure. What do you mean specifically by that? Better be getting paid. The employees better be getting paid. Vivian Harriet says, what about the East Coast? I'm assuming East Coast Jamaica. East Coast is developing as well. Like, that's kind of almost like the next frontier after Negril, I'd like to say. Ms. Goga says there are amazing local organizations and people that do all the things that need actual support. More foreign-owned businesses isn't the solution. I'm not saying that that is or isn't the solution, but I think that foreign-owned businesses, as we talk about, I don't know who said it earlier, the Jamaica needs to improve its service. When we get these outside competition, it forces the locals to be better, more efficient, and it forces them to step up their game. And that's what competition does. Just like, I have gone to Colombia. I talked about I went to Tulum, and like those are my experiences from going to different countries in these different cities. Like, I'm going to bring my experience. I mean, I may not be an owner of businesses in those locations, but I'm bringing that experience back to Jamaica to make my business better, to make my city and my community better. And so I think that that's what a lot of these foreign businesses do. They bring in different ways of doing things, different technologies, different types of services, and then it'll force us. Like, I'm competing directly with them directly. You know what I'm saying? And so I take no issue with them coming in and setting up shop. It's forcing travelers, it's forcing other hotels locally to get better. And if we didn't have that, I mean, Jamaica would be stuck in like the 90s, and you'd still be waiting over an hour for your food. But as we become more globalized, the standard of acceptance, that bar has this how it continues to be elevated. Robert Clark says we need all people, not only young people. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the um the older generation, like, is really like is has been driving Negril, Jamaica, in a big way, from coming here 20 years ago and then kind of being now the I don't know what they call it, but like they said like the boomer generation, I forget what percentage of wealth that they have globally, but it's in the trillions of dollars. You know, they have the biggest spending power. And so they're the ones who really going to be investing and are investing in Jamaica like crazy. You know, it's them. So yeah, you're absolutely. I'm not trying to, sorry if I came across that way, excluding that, excluding other age demographics. I don't mean to do that at all. Bloomer says another thing is it doesn't sound a luxury to me if developments are too massive. Other islands have smaller developments and are attract a classier, affluent educational tourists. Grenada, Barbados. I'll even say fair enough, fair enough. Even Tulum is the same way. Very small. I mean, I think the buildings we stayed at there were maybe 3 stories, four stories max, and a lot of these places were like $800, $500 a night. I'm just making sure it's not raining. Got to run and grab that camera. And it was hold on one second. I was just making sure that there isn't a wedding that was about to happen here. I was like, all right, we'll pack up. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. But I think there's gonna be a lot of, and we got to think too, Negril specifically. We are the small hotel capital of Jamaica, if not the Caribbean. I think we have more small hotels per capita than any other island in the Caribbean, as a matter of fact. So, you know, I think there is going to be that, but again, these are multinational conglomerates that are looking to make massive profits. So, but your opinion is duly noted. Kathy Hay says blessings drop in chat. Baltimore watching. One love. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Carlos says, is your dad still doing great things with Neat? Absolutely, absolutely. I just brought down a bunch of tablets to give away. So we have that coming. We have that continue to grow, I should say. We need companies with big pockets like Big Pharma. Nalo says, I think that in order to have younger upper middle class families moving in the grill in large numbers, you'll need the amenities to be there first. I know we need the accommodation amenities for sure. It may need to be done at the same time. Because like how long can those amenities last without the support? Maybe there's a deal that can be struck. I don't know. But point well taken, Nalo. Throp African Tigress is a Kenyan YouTuber. She's here on the island. I would definitely like to see a collab with you both. Oh, that would be awesome. African Tigers, I'm in Negril. Would love to have a conversation with you. We'll send you a message on IG. Okay, we'll look out for it. Thank you for that. Shayna, what's going on? Happy New Year, Throppers. I hope each of you, your new year is off to a great start. So good to see you. Good to be back. Happy New Year to you as well, once again. Kelly says customer service training is in dire need of training all over. That's changed dramatically since COVID. Agreed. And Dret says, refreshing to hear your viewpoint regarding the growth / future of Negril and Jamaica in general. Thank you. So Negril, Nelo says, Negril would probably need to follow the lead of the North Coast, build gated communities developments that attract the diaspora and Kingstonians. Then amenities will come, then families will come. Is that working? Just, I mean, I'm just asking generally. In general, has that model worked in that area? I'm unfamiliar. Carlos says, I'd like to see more cultural experience when I travel to Costa Rica, India, and Southeast Asia. There are so many experiences for tourists to connect with locals. I really enjoyed when your dad took me to rural school outside of the tourist zones. Wow, good. That's awesome. Glad you enjoyed that. Glad you experienced that. Yeah, my dad used to do that a lot. Take guests to local schools. Guess somebody needs to get back to doing that. Wayne says, "Hey Throp, you're always dropping gems. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Appreciate it." SK Skipper says, for example, in the construction industry, you can start from a laborer, and with more skills in the other area, you can rank up. Some trades are driving trucks. Good point. Talking about the upward mobility of starting out um, at like the first level in certain industries. Big boy says, "Man, they're fed up of tourists in Venice, Italy. They charge an entrance fee. People bring problems in exchange for money." Shayna Love Coaching says, "We look up with Talawa." Copeland says, "Jamaica is doing so great, yet people are complaining. Why?" I mean, we definitely got our challenges. We definitely got our problems. Like things are not perfect out here by any means. But I think in certain areas Jamaica is going through a teething process. I think that's what's happening, and I think there are frustrations. And then also, I also think what tends to happen is we do it here in Negril. Like you'll see like a particular benefit in one area of the country, and you're like, "Hey, what about us?" But it's like you do some things here, some things there. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you what happens. But I think that there's an element of that as well. Okay, Kelly confirmed the allowance. That's true. Jamaicans entering April 2024 are moving from $500 to $1,000. Thank you for that. Donna Bryce says there are new air carriers adding Jamaica as a route, and now Sanctus has added gates for processing. Yeah, I saw that. Pretty cool. Warren says, "Welcome back, sir. Appreciate that." SK Skipper says, "Do you have any updates on the progression towards transforming the country to a trade and logistics hub?" No, I don't. Alfonso, do you have any update on that? Alfonso is like my guy on that stuff. Um, he usually sends me updated information on that. I haven't heard that it's not happening. I'll tell you that. I presume that it's still moving forward, but no direct updates. I'll see if I can look into that. Thank you for that, SK Skipper. Tisha, Happy New Year. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Tisha says, "I'm late today. I missed the live streams. Welcome back, Throp. Appreciate it." SK Skipper says, "Do you think having immigrants from Haiti to fill the gaps of the declining birth rate a viable solution?" Oh, that sounds dicey. As you said, declining birth rate. Like I also thought of. It's so interesting that Jamaica has fallen into that category because you just see so many babies everywhere. But you gotta listen to the numbers, right? But where we also have a shortage in it is workers, and it's particularly construction workers, which is also interesting and kind of crazy. Um, yeah, I don't have a solution. Don't have a direct solution to either of those. Donna Bryce says, "Sanctions is added gates with face recognition. Any feedback?" No, it's the direction that we're moving in. When I went to Tulum in October, same thing. Didn't. Oh no, we went through like those gates, and then like I think I just scanned my passport, and then the glass gates opened up, and then I walked through, and then I don't think I said anything to a customs agent. No, I didn't. I just walked through. As a matter of fact, when I was leaving Colombia out of Bogota, I just scanned my passport. I didn't talk to anybody, and then same thing. Glass gates opened up, and I just went through, and then went through security. So it's just the way that the world is going. Most of my Delta flights now and getting on, it's face recognition. It's nobody's checking your passports anymore. It's as you get on face recognition. If you have global entry, they've been doing this for years. Now there's no passport whatsoever. So anytime I'm coming into the United States, I'm literally through customs and immigration in, I mean, it's seconds now. It's kind of crazy. um and you just go through, and last time, like, you could see when you're getting into JFK, it tells you like how long it's going to take you to get through customs, and it says like when I went, it was like 60 minutes, and then I go through global entry, it's like less than 60. I mean, it's so crazy how quick it is. um if you have clear, if you have TSA pre-check clear, when I was leaving New York, JFK, to come back to Jamaica, they are doing, I forget what it's called, but it's like a second step. So like I had to just show my ID and fill out these forms, like just fill out my address and something. Like I had to show my driver's license, and they scanned it. And so now next time it's going to be even more of a seamless process to get through security, where it's just going to be like real quick facial recognition. And so my point is the world is definitely moving in this direction, and it's great to see Jamaica is as well, and that we're on the forefront of this technology. Carlos says Tulum grew so fast that they have so many issues now with the infrastructure. Too much, too fast. Yeah, they have. Even though the last hotel we stayed at, Tulum, like there was salt water coming out of the shower. It was weird. Like they try to tell us like some excuse, but we were told that something with the environment. I don't know, but it didn't make sense. But yeah, they have environmental. They're having some environmental problems there. But again, like I said, want to learn from other countries and other cities and not make the same mistake. Ravine Harris says, in the process of moving home and excited for the progress. Awesome. Kelly says, I have a destination wedding group coming back from Tulum area today and tomorrow. Awesome. Tisha says, hi, Throp. I just read an awesome article in the Jamaican Observer about two women bringing dining in the sky. They took a pic in front of travelers. Did you speak about that yet? Yeah, I did. They had their the Chamber of Commerce meeting here, and they made the presentation to the chamber here at in our conference room. But I just got back to Jamaica that day, and I didn't make the meeting. But yeah, I did speak about it at length, and very, very excited, very, very supportive of that business, and really proud that they chose Negril to set up shop. Sherry says, hello, Throp and everyone. I really missed these Sunday sessions. Oh, well, good to be back. Corey MPA says, we need more businesses, local and foreign, and definitely don't need workers. We have enough. No, I think we need we're short construction workers. There's no question about that. We're short construction workers, and I think we need more opportunity to create a higher skilled labor force. And I'm thinking specifically in the areas of technology. And Corey MBA says decrease in population is not seen as a good thing. However, those nations usually are more prosperous. Yeah, but believe we fall into that category nowadays. I don't know how, but we do. Simone says, we appreciate the work you and your team does. We've learned a lot and continue to do so. Thank you so much, Simone. I appreciate that. Nalo says, when you look at the area from Drax Hall to Richmond, initially the properties were bought by the diaspora Kingstonians. Since then, we now have shopping centers, restaurants, better roads and services, etc. Good point. So, Nalo, you're saying we should attract the people first. Maybe that is the model. Thank you for that. I'm happy I canvassed everybody about this. Channel Coaching says, I like the analogy teething process about the life/growth phases of Jamaica. Yeah, I think we are there too. Thank you for that. Wayne says, "Got to run and had and heard about membership. How does that work? Can you explain and give information? Thanks." Yeah, you can be you can pay $5 a month for channel membership, and you get exclusive content. Even though I haven't put out some in a while, but we got a lot of exclusive content coming out because I have so much. So that's coming up shortly, and you can either do that here on YouTube, which is probably a lot easier since you're here already, and then also you can also do it on Patreon as well. So there's different tiers that you can subscribe to, and you are able to get access to exclusive content and early content. So you do that through your YouTube channel. You can find that. There actually might be a way that you can become a member, like right on your screen. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there should be a button under this stream where you can actually just click it and become a channel member, and then you get like a little icon here, like Larry T has on the top right corner. We got to come up with our icons, these Throp icons. I got to figure out how to do that. But yeah, that's channel membership. Clive Thompson says, "Great to see you, Throp. Happy New Year. I'm particular. Oh, how come this is not coming up? I'm particularly looking forward over the year ahead to hearing what the plans are to improve traffic in Negril, given all the pending developments." I don't know. It's very, very concerning. I wasn't here for New Year's, but I heard it was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And I said this on one of my last live streams before this one, before the new year, is that like Negril like has a rush hour now. And if you try to go downtown in the 5 o'clock time period, you're going to be in traffic. You're going to be stuck in traffic, which is crazy. Like we've never had this before. Never, never, never had this before. And so this makes me think, we need to do something relatively soon about that. I mean, because it's going to get worse next year, and it's starting to build up. And it's a very, very good point. And we gotta. I mean, I think people are seeing this already. When I say people, I'm talking specifically about the powers that be. I think they are seeing that and understanding that. Like when we look at the bypass road, the highway coming from Montego Bay to Negril, they're talking about doing another road that is like going across, I guess, going across the morass. I don't know, but like definitely something needs to be done. We got the KFC shopping plaza coming. We got all of these crazy developments that are happening on the northern part, Green Island, Orange Bay area. But yeah, roads need to be built ASAP. ASAP. You're right. It's going to turn into a real, real big. It already is a problem. It already is a problem. People were just complaining like crazy about the drive from Montego Bay to Negril based on the traffic. Jay Fitz says global entry is a must-have if you travel internationally. Yeah, it's a game changer. For those that man, I remember just a quick side note. I had global entry, but they spelt my name wrong on my ID, and when I went to renew, it was like this whole thing, and I lost it for like almost 2 years. It was horrific. And like to have it and then not to have it, and then just standing in line for hours. And especially if for those who are foreign investors or part of the diaspora who are going to be going back and forth from the States and coming to and from Jamaica, it's gonna cut down your travel time like crazy. And I say, if you have your Jamaican passport plus your global entry, like having your Jamaican passport is almost like having global entry. It's the closest thing to it, because sometimes when that customs line is like all the way to the escalators, you know what I'm talking about, you can skip that and go to the right with your Jamaican passport and pass all those people. Unfortunately, there are visitors to our country, but at least you don't have to wait there online for an hour. And like I've done that many, many times. And so like having the comment, especially if you're going back and forth to the States, and like having global entry and having a Jamaican passport is a game changer. It just changes the quality of your travel in a major way. SK Skipper says, "Are you just multi-streaming to Facebook alone? TikTok live feed is it good for exposure?" Good point. I don't even know if I know my password to TikTok. But yeah, good point. I need to start doing that. I need to figure that out because I feel like they put you out there a lot more. Thank you for that, Skipper. Appreciate that. I'm gonna do that for next Sunday. No problem, Tisha. Tisha, I know. I do agree. I think it's a great look for Jamaica. Definitely for the grill as well. I saw Mario says, "What about the China Harbor, Miami Bay development plans? I can see environmental issues coming from that." Not familiar. Not familiar. I would have to update myself on that. I'm not aware. Donald says, "Are you still hosting something in Canada this year?" I wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to. Like, I really, really wanted to. I think the only one that we can do is in England and the UK in April, which I will send out more information on shortly in the next couple of weeks. We says, pretty sure the reason we fall into the low birth rate category is because the amount of people that migrate annually. Are you saying that they're having their kids abroad instead of here? I don't know. I can't speak to those statistics. I don't know. And there's like how many people are leaving Jamaica. I'd be interesting to know those statistics. Vivine says Jamaica just needs to continue building up the country using Jamaican, not people from other countries. The country is too poor for that. What about training the people to do the construction work? We do. We just don't have enough of those workers. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's at least what's being reported in the papers, and at least what I'm hearing is it's like there are not enough construction workers, and particularly that's what I heard with the Princess Hotel here in Green Island. They just don't have enough, and there's just a lot of construction happening in Jamaica. You know, we're short construction workers now with these developments happening. What's going to happen when the other 5,000 rooms go under construction very shortly? Plus the construction. Somebody talked about the downtown Kingston Tower that's happening. I think they said 28 floors or something like that. So a lot of big construction projects happening all over the island. Definitely going to need the workers to make these things happen. Or are they going to continue to import workers? Corey MPA says, Throp agreed. I was talking about low level workers, which is what someone mentioned earlier. We do need high skill areas, which likely would come from foreign entity. I mean, more than likely, but I hope that there is, I hope we can get more, just more, I was going to say, use the terminology pipeline, have like a clear pipeline of worker of creating high skill workers. And what came to mind is like these boot camps that like I know Google has them, Microsoft has them as well, and like you can learn to like do specific jobs that maybe you're like an accountant that you want to become a coder. I mean, of course we're talking like high level stuff, but like taking the boot camp and training like a set of people to like, even like I brought this up even like in my industry and like media, and training them to be an editor, or training them to be like a social media professional. And there's just so many, my mind automatically goes to the creatives Where were we? Where were we? Okay. Yeah. I was talking about like trying to create a pipeline for just high skilled workers, and I know we need it, and I was more focusing on the creative industry more than anything else. Thank you, Shayna, for the channel membership link. Appreciate that. Thank you, Shayna. I am says, hi, Throp, long time, happy new year. Did you hear that the US residents need a visa to travel to Brazil? Yeah, and I think you also need to have like yeah, sorry. I think you need to also show that you have at least 2,000 US in your bank account. I went to Brazil in 2011, and I needed a visa. I remember like I had to turn in my US passport to the Brazil embassy in New York like a day, and then I got it back the next day, and it had my my, my Brazil visa in there. So that's not nothing. That part is not super new. The thing that's new is showing that you have a certain amount of money in your bank account. Interesting. Andrew Blake says, "How's merch plans coming along?" Haven't touched it. I got the merch here, and at least the merch I have left over from ThropX. I need to get on it. I'm getting all these reminders of things that I need to do that I've fallen behind. Thank you for that, Andrew. We'll definitely be getting it out as soon as humanly possible. Dave Kennedy says, "Hi, Throb. I wasn't sure why." Natalie Holmes says, "KFC where? Yes, the roads are not for anyone with fragile bones." The KFC is right next to the Omega Medical Hospital, so very close to Travelers. Like you can go out on Travelers on the road and see it. The plaza. It's not complete. It's still under construction. Nalo says, "I guess you need to attract the people first, but I'm saying specifically to attract the Asper custodians first, then amenities infrastructure will come, then the families will feel comfortable moving there." Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Because I've been looking into like, how cities and towns develop. I remember like taking what class was it? I mean, this is like 20 years ago. We're learning about like suburbs and how they were developed, and they were like specifically talking about Long Island and Levittown being like this big experiment of people working in Manhattan and then commuting back to Long Island in Levittown. And it's just interesting how that concept was developed. And I'm just just starting off my research, but I appreciate your insight and feedback on that. Let's keep going here. BL says, "Hi Throp, whilst watching African Tigress vlog, Travel to Negril, I noticed that the taxi driver was driving to the far left to avoid speed bumps. How ridiculous. It seems that the bumps need widening." Yeah. I see that. A lot of Carlos says, "Vietnam is winning my global comparison thus far." I'm actually funny that you mentioned that. So a lot of these I don't know if I'm giving away my ideas, but this is what I want to do. A lot of these guys that I was following doing my Colombia research, like there's one guy in particular, he moved from, I don't think it's the States. I forget. He moved from another country to Medellin, and he got almost does like what I do. I like telling them, like guiding people and telling them why they should invest in Medellin and why they should move there and all that sort of thing. And then I also came across this, I guess, because I was looking up so much Colombia content. I started getting content on Dominican Republic, and there's this other guy that I started following who does the same thing I do from DR. So I thought it was just like kind of cool of collaborating with them and sitting down with them and hearing what they have to say about their respective new homes, and we compare and contrast. So I'm definitely going to be doing something of that nature soon, because it's like we're living in like such a global, and I'm sure many of you who are watching this live stream, you probably could live anywhere. Like you don't have to be wanting to invest in Jamaica or live here. You can go to Vietnam or to Colombia, but for whatever reason that you're interested. And I think it's important to compare and contrast and see what the positives and negatives from being one place or another place, that sort of thing. And I think it's, so you're just very, very confident in your decision, whichever way that you go in. And using resources like myself and these other guys who have their YouTube channels as well. Eva says, who's Throps internet provider at the hotel? I don't know. It keeps dipping. And it might be our own internal network here. I'm not sure. So I don't want to blame. Oh, shoot. Turn off my Wi-Fi. I don't want to blame any provider right now. Hanging in there. We're coming to the end anyway. SK Skipper says, what happened to the podcast? It's been a while since I seen one uploaded, and I checked Google Podcasts and Spotify. Oh, thank you for that. I don't know if Candice is watching, but I'm gonna ask Candice to get on that. I forget. It's so interesting. We just started uploading them to these traditional podcast forums, and people are listening. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, Skipper, that you are listening into on those traditional podcast forums. We will get on it this week. We'll absolutely get more up this week for sure. And for those that don't know, you do have, if you want to listen at the gym or on your way to work, you can listen on wherever you get your podcast on, whether it's Spotify or Apple. It's available there. Graham PA says, you have Starlink. Yeah. I've heard about it. A lot of people have been telling me I got to get on it. Lady Love says it would be great to get the scammers interested in training, but builders must pay fair wages. Thanks for your platform. You're welcome. All right. I think this is a great point. Azo Mario says, would North Coast Town benefit from no car traffic areas? I think many areas would, or at least more of a priority on pedestrians. And it was just like one thing that I did appreciate in Medellin. Oh, well, both Medellin and Bogota is the walkability and a just like dedicated space for pedestrians and also bicyclists. And I think that as we move forward and as we go into this more modern Jamaica, that we start thinking about that. And the one thing also that I really, really absolutely loved about Medellin is the greenery. They were like, I didn't look at the history of it, but like they were very. I briefly looked. I think it was on Wikipedia, but they were just talking about how they wanted to make Medellin cooler temperature wise, and so like they planted like all these trees. So like as you're walking on like many sidewalks, side trees, the city of eternal spring. That's their catchphrase. And it was very much like that, like beautiful weather the entire time that I was there. It drizzled a little bit, but it's lovely. And I think the same thing we should do for like aspects of Jamaica, especially Negril. It's like plant trees, not palm trees, not palm trees. Like palm trees are great, they look beautiful, but we need shade. We want to encourage walking, especially for locals. We want people, and I know locals do a lot of walking already, but we want it to be enjoyable. We want families to be able to walk together, and it's like much, much hotter here and much more humid here um, than Medellin, and it would be great if we can yeah, if we be able to like capture that and take advantage of that. There's like lots and lots of trees along the sidewalks and that sort of thing. Marius says we need the cooler temps for sure. Yeah, I agree, and I think there's a lot we can do about that, is planting the right trees. Layla says, good point about Levittown, Long Island. First, it was for a quick commute to the city, but now it's a place to live, work, play for many, similar to Portmore, Kingston. Negril could become its own thriving entity one day too. Yeah, we're gonna try to get that parish. We want that. Carla says, I'm hearing no one wants to work construction due to low wage work. Is that the case there? I'm unsure. I know construction. I know I'll talk to one of my friends. I don't know how much he's paying, but it's one of those, especially if you're like a day person, like you're making good money, I think. Especially I guess it also depends on what level that you're coming in at, whether you're a carpenter or a plumber, like you're going to be getting paid pretty good money. That those are one of the better paying jobs, I would say, on these construction sites. I don't know what it is, and I can't speak specifically to that, but I don't think those thousands of workers would be doing that if they weren't being paid enough. But that's just me looking outside in. And I know what we paid for. I know what we pay here for, like when we're doing these projects. These things are not cheap. These things are not cheap at all. Kai says, I've heard a lack of getting paid and promptly. I had friends that worked Royalton maybe once a month, if that. I'm not. I've heard of this. I'm not saying this about Royalton or anything like that, but I've heard this on certain construction sites. It's people not getting paid on time. I've heard that. I've heard that a few times on a few different occasions. So maybe that's part of it as well. I'm unsure. Just says, this is the way Kingston is an oven versus the interior in the West. Yeah, Kingston is like, that's the last place in Jamaica I want to be walking around. It is boiling there. There's no trees, none, no shade. But here in Negril, I think we have an opportunity, especially like the shared user path. I mean, I would love to see that thing lined on both sides with trees going down and of course lighting. I think there's a huge opportunity there. Same thing on Nampro Road. I think there's a huge opportunity there as well to have just a lot of trees and just encourage walking. It's just good for the health, good for the soul. Channel Coaching says, this off topic, does travelers offer day passes? No, we don't have day passes, but I mean, if you're coming here to hang out on the beach and have lunch and that sort of thing, that's fine. That's not a problem. So you're more than welcome. I am says, the government should get on TV and tell the people that either they recruit people to do construction or they have to import people. They've already started doing that. They've already started doing that with certain jobs. So, hopefully that changes quickly. Kelly says March in Kingston was great. Weather was awesome. Okay, I think we are going to wrap up there. I wanted to keep it at 2 hours. We only went a little over, which isn't bad. Which isn't bad. All right, all right. Okay, I think we're gonna start wrapping up there. This was a good. There's other stuff I want to talk about in Jamaica that happened, but I'm getting hungry. Gotta get to the gym. I didn't go this morning. I got some snacks. I got Julie mango to snack on before I go to the gym, and I got my sweet sap. I got an orange. So this is my pre-workout that I'm gonna nibble on right now. So it's very good to be back in Jamaica and have these fruits. Um, got finally going to come out with a video, as Skipper says. We're coming out with a podcast this week, so we have the part 2 of Misty Memphis coming out on Saturday, and then I'm gonna try to roll out four in a row. We're gonna be rolling. We got some shorts we're working on. We got the update, the Colombia update video, and so one of the goals this year is to really start growing my Instagram. So if you haven't already, please hop over to my Instagram and follow at Throp. I'm going to be putting out a lot more content on there this year, and I actually really enjoy making those shorts, those reels. Not so much TikToks, but I guess you could throw that in there as well. So I'm going to do my best to start growing that as well, because I think there's a lot of opportunity. And I think a lot of people spend a lot of time there that would benefit from a lot of the content that we create here on the channel. So anyway, I appreciate you all hanging out with me today. It was a nice, beautiful day to come back in the new year with. It looks like we're going to get a pretty beautiful sunset as well. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll do like a later stream one of these weeks, and then we can watch the sunset together. That would be cool. But this was a lot of fun. Thank you, Shane. I should include my IG link in my YouTube description. Yes, I will do that as we push to grow that. And if you're not subscribed, because I forgot to mention this, I realized that some people aren't subscribed, which is crazy. If you aren't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And also, if you want to see some more exclusive content that we have here on the channel, we're going to be rolling out in the next few months, especially, please consider becoming a channel member as well, or if not, a Patreon. Thank you all so much for joining on this Sunday afternoon. We'll be back again next Sunday right here. Not sure about the time, but we'll be here again next Sunday. Thank you all. Happy New Year to everyone. I will see you next Sunday. Have a great rest of your Sunday and have a great week ahead. Peace.